Hi guys, welcome to another crochet tutorial with me, Laura, and in this video I'm showing you how to make these cozy chunky wrist warmers. So this pattern uses a super bulky, super chunky yarn. So this is a yarn weight of 6, so nice and chunky. And with that I'm using a 6mm crochet hook. So it's a J crochet hook. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get our yarn and do a slip knot. So just make our slip knot. And the first thing you want to do is you want to chain enough to go around your wrist. Okay, so we're going to chain enough stitches to go around your wrist. And I happen to chain 22. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 20, 21 and 22. So I've chained 22 and this is enough to go around my wrist. I've got skinny wrists, so you might want to chain more or you might want to chain less, completely depending on the size of your wrist. So I've chained 22 and then what we're going to do is we're going to turn this into a big loop. So making sure all your chains are facing the right direction, we're going to just bend this over, making sure your working yarn is at the top. And we're going to put our hook into our first chain. So find your first chain, put your hook into there. My camera wants to focus. And then bring the yarn through there and straight through the loop on your hook to join the round. So you've got a loop like so. Then what we're going to do is we're going to chain 3, 1, 2 and 3, and we're going to do 1 double crochet. So this pattern's in US terminology, so in UK terminology that's a treble. So we're going to yarn over and do 1 double crochet in each chain around back to the beginning. So these 3 chains are going to count as a double crochet. So we're going to go into our next chain along, put our hook into there and do a double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. I'm going to do 1 double crochet in each chain around. And unfortunately this yarn is a little bit dark at the moment. It's a variegated yarn. But I really want to use this yarn to make the other gloves. So each of these glove patterns are identical. These wrist warmers are exactly the same. So same pattern for both. And go into the next chain and just do 1 double crochet in each chain around. Okay, then 1 in there. Double crochet in the next chain. Okay, it's just coming up to the beginning and coming up to the last chain. 1 double crochet in there and back to the beginning. Now if you're working to a different stitch count and you've chained more or less, do make sure you work to an even number. Okay, you want an even number of stitches. That's the only requirement. Okay, so then what we're going to do is going to find these 3 chains, find the top chain, and we're going to put our hook into there just as neatly as you can and do a slip stitch to join the round, making sure that this is all facing the right direction and looks like this. Then what we're going to do is we're going to do a double crochet front post stitch. Now if you've watched any of my other tutorials, you know to do a front post stitch by going in from the front. So the first thing we're going to do is yarn over and we're going to find these chains underneath where we just slip stitch. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to the right hand side for this gap here of those chains. So yarn over, go into the gap to the right of those chains and then out through the left. So you're basically just getting that post on top of your hook. Then we're going to grab the yarn and bring it underneath and then we just do a double crochet. Pull through 2, pull through 2. And that is a double crochet front post stitch. Nice and easy. So we yarn over and again find the next post. This time it's a double crochet, not chains. Going to go to the right hand side in that big gap over to the left. So you've got that post sat on the top of your hook. Bring the yarn underneath and do a double crochet. I'm going to do 1 double crochet front post stitch around each previous double crochet post all the way around. Okay, so your stitch count is the same, so just go from right to left. That's the easy way to remember a front post stitch, is you go in from the front. So I'm going to do one of these in each, around each post, back to the beginning. Keeping a stitch count of 22 for mine. Okay, so nearly back at the beginning. When you run out of double crochet posts to work around, we're just going to slip stitch into that first double crochet. So I think that's my last one, and then I'm going to find that first double crochet and slip stitch into the top stitch to join the round. Okay, it should look something like this. You've got this ribbing coming into effect. And we're going to do that for 3 more rounds to create a cuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to yarn over, and this time we're going to go around the double crochet post that's at the top. So try and keep your stitch at the top. You just want to pull out that stitch, and you can see that there's a gap underneath there. So we're going to go to the right hand side of that post near the top, so not down here, keep it near the top, and come out to the left hand side. You've got that post again sat on top of your hook. Bring the yarn under and do a double crochet again, and do that all the way around. So find the next double crochet that you just crocheted in the previous round and just pop your hook underneath. So it should just slide underneath, and then bring the yarn under and do a double crochet, and do 1 double crochet around each previous double crochet front post stitch all the way around. So just keep it near the top and just prop it under. Bring the yarn underneath and do a double crochet. And we're going to do that for 3 rounds. So rounds 3, 4 and 5. We're just going to do 1 double crochet front post stitch around for 3 more rounds, just slip stitching at the end. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to come back, and that'll be the end of our cuff. Okay, so I'm just coming up to the end of my 3rd round. So I've done 3 more rounds of these double crochet front post stitches, and this is the last one. And when you get to the end of each round, we just find that first double crochet and slip stitch into there. So hopefully you've got something that looks like this. Good idea to check that you can fit it on your hand. There we go. So this is just to go around the wrist. You don't need to worry about it being tight around this part, because we're going to increase. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the main spiral sort of tornado pattern, as I call it. And what we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to chain 2. Going to chain 2, and then we're going to skip this stitch underneath. So we're going to skip this first stitch we just slip stitched into, and we're going to do 1 double crochet in the next stitch. So it's going to go into the stitch now as normal at the top and do a double crochet, and then we're going to do a treble crochet. So in UK terminology it's going to be a double treble. To do that, we wrap the yarn around our hook twice, and we're going to go into this previously skipped stitch. Now I find it much easier when you, instead of going into the stitch from the front, we come from the back. So I'm just going to put it behind the stitch and then just come that way instead, because it's much easier to get hold of your yarn and just bring that through. Now whenever we do a stitch that's a double crochet or bigger, we just pull through 2 until we get to the end. It's nice and easy to remember. So yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Okay, and then we're going to repeat that all the way around. So we're going to skip a stitch, then do a double crochet in the next stitch. So we're just working into stitches as normal, and then wrapping the yarn around your hook twice, we're going to do a treble in this previously skipped stitch. We're going to come from the back through the stitch that way instead, grab the yarn, and then pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. Oh no, didn't go all the way through. And repeat that all the way around. So we're going to skip 1 double crochet, and then a treble in that previously skipped stitch. And the sun's come out. Just lovely. We haven't had sun for a while now. It's just constant rain and floods in the UK at the moment. Anyway, enough of that. Skip 1 double crochet in the next stitch. Let's just enjoy the sunshine. And then a treble in the previously skipped stitch. So repeat that all the way around back to the beginning. Skip 1 double crochet, then just go up to the end, skip 1 double crochet in the last stitch, and then a treble in that previously skipped stitch. So this is why you need to work to an even number of stitches. Okay, so after that last treble, we're then going to find our first double crochet. Now this is all twisted now at the front, so you need to dig out that double crochet, move this treble down, find the double crochet hidden underneath, and we're going to slip stitch into that double crochet to join the round. Okay, so that's our first twisted stitch pattern now. So now we're just going to do a little increase just to make sure it fits around this wider part of the hand. So the first thing we're going to do is chain 2, and we're going to do a double crochet in this first stitch here that we just slip stitched into. So go into there and do a double crochet, and then we're also going to do a treble in there. So we're going to yarn over twice and also do a treble in there. Okay, then we're going to do a double crochet in this next stitch and also a treble in this same stitch. Just create a little increase of the pattern. Then we're going to go back to our normal pattern. We're going to skip one, so you may have to dig out the stitch that we've worked into that one there. That was the last one we worked into, so we're going to skip this one, which should be this double crochet, and this treble, we're going in there, we're going to do a double crochet, and then we do a treble in that skipped previous stitch, again coming from the back and going through the stitch from the back. Do a treble and repeat that all the way around. So we're going to skip the next stitch, which is this double crochet hidden underneath, and the treble is the one we want to work into, and do a double crochet. Then we do our treble in that previous skipped stitch, and just repeat that all the way around back to the beginning. So skip one double crochet, and a treble in that skip stitch. Coming up to the last 2 stitches, so skip one double crochet in that last stitch, and a treble in that previously skipped stitch. And then we're going to slip stitch into that first double crochet that we did. So skip the chains, find that double crochet and slip stitch into there. Okay, so now we've done an increase. We're not going to do any more increases, we're just going to continue with the pattern. So we start off with a chain 2, we're not counting that as a stitch for this part of the pattern. So we're going to skip the first stitch we just slip stitched into, and then in the next stitch we do a double crochet, and it's just the normal pattern now. Then we're going to do a treble in that previous skipped stitch, so always a bit fiddly this one, but come from the back and do a treble in there. Then we skip the next stitch, then in the next stitch do a double crochet, and then a treble in the skip stitch. Then skip one double crochet. So the double crochet should always be in the diagonal treble stitch, and then the treble crochets go in the skip stitch, which is always the double crochet from the previous round. And we're just going to repeat this pattern all the way around, and we're going to do this for 3 more rounds, just skipping one double crochet, or a treble in UK terminology, and then in the previous skip stitch coming from the back we do a treble crochet, or in UK terminology that's called a double treble. Okay, skip one double crochet, and we're going to repeat that all the way around, slip stitching in our first double crochet, so not the chains, we're skipping the chains, and we're going to do that for 3 more rounds, and then that's pretty much the end of the glove, or wrist warmer rather than a glove. So I shall do that, and then I shall come back and have a look at the finished wrist warmer. So just make sure when you get to the end of the round you're going to skip these chains, you want to dig out that double crochet, and that's what you want to slip stitch into, and that'll be the first stitch that you skip on the next round. So this chain 2 we're just ignoring as a stitch. So skip that one double crochet, and then a treble in that one we just slip stitched into. And continue on without making an awful mess of your stitches. So just got to the end, skip the chains, find that double crochet and slip stitch into there. Then I'm just going to cut my yarn. I haven't got very much yarn left, got about that much left of one ball of yarn, and this ball of yarn was, how many meters was it? 80 meters. Let's pull that through, and then I'm going to hide that tail end, which I'll do now, which I will find my little yarn needle, and what I'd like to do is just go through the same stitch that I slip stitched into to the back, turn it over, just thread down a bit, and then thread back in the opposite direction, trim down the excess. And there we go, and you might want to hide the tail end one as well at the beginning, but there we go, and just repeat all those steps for your second wrist warmer and put them on. And the reason it's the dark colour, so sorry, I hope it showed up enough okay, but I made these for the hubs as a gift, so he chose this yarn, so you can blame him if it was too dark. But I hope you enjoyed that tutorial, hope you managed to follow along. I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching. I love this stitch, I love the way it twists like a tornado, my tornado glove. So don't forget to follow me on Instagram as well for extra giveaways and treats and sort of behind the scenes. I do lots of vlogging over there, and don't forget to click that subscribe button in case it's the first time you've seen this tutorial. You've been following me for a while, but so I don't disappear in the world of YouTube, so you can remember my channel, click that subscribe button and click the notification bell if you want to be notified of when all my latest tutorials come out. And I'll see you soon for some more crochet fun. Thanks for watching, bye! I love these, very nice. I gotta keep them on.